My name is Ethan Balno. I am a self-defense instructor as well as teach Qigong for health. I've been vegan since 2010, so that's about 13 years. The reason I went vegan is basically not to kill or cause suffering to animals anymore, or the world in fact. But the health benefits I've gotten from it are astounding. Every year it's better and better. I'm stronger, and I think it takes time for the body to adjust. They say after 7 years you get a whole new body, your cells change. So I find that to be true. I feel like I have a whole new body almost every year now.
Wow, so it sounds like you did this for ethical reasons initially?
Initially, yeah.
Was there something that you saw or learned somewhere that made you start thinking about that?
I read a lot of Taoist and Buddhist books and Asian philosophy and about letting go and non-attachment, and yeah, it's just something inside said it's time to let go of that, and anger issues and emotional issues that I think people normally have when you go vegan, they go away. All those negative energy, negative emotions.
And did you just up and do this one day, or was it a gradual thing?
It was pretty quick, I think. I'm a pretty extreme guy. I decided to weightlift, and I became like the strongest powerlifter in the world. I just trained all day, every day. Won some bodybuilding contests. I want to do martial arts, so I moved to Asia. I spent all day, every day for years and years and years doing martial arts, salsa dance, Latin dance. I started martial arts when I was like 15, so I wasn't vegan then, but as I got more and more into martial arts, then that's when I became vegan.
Did this somehow relate to making you go vegan, all of this bodybuilding and all of this pushing yourself?
Yeah, I think because I was always searching for health, and I think as an extreme athlete, you're kind of trying to find the truth in what you do, or the truth comes out of what you do. There's a pureness in the powerlifting, you lift the weight or you don't. It's almost like another level of consciousness there, because the weight you pull or push is not normal, and you have to go like an extreme level to be able to do this, an extreme training. And I think you start to realize, about the universe and about truth in people and truth in character, virtues, and you need all that stuff, especially like martial arts. They teach it within that. So probably through all that, I found this to be the right path.
Have you found there to be any sort of limitations to being vegan and doing all this stuff that you're doing?
The only limitations is in the West, I lived in Asia half my life, so finding vegan or vegetarian restaurants is very easy, and just abundant of great food, super cheap. But here in the West, it's a little harder to find good vegan options, or it's getting better now, especially in Miami.
But as far as your performance and stuff, or health-wise, or anything there that might be a little challenging?
No. I think in the beginning my body went through a transition, it needed to adapt to not getting that food that I normally had. I think it wasn't because of, say I was eating meat before now, and it was something in the meat or something that I needed. It wasn't that. I think it was more that anytime you have a change in your environment or your situation, you're in a relationship or something, that's just going to affect you mentally, emotionally, physically. An abrupt change in the food is your body's going, what did you do?
Yeah.
So after a period of probably maybe 6 months to a year, the adjustments didn't really bother me at all. Yeah.
Everything equaled out.
Yeah, equaled out. And then like I say, every year was just better and better and better and better and better.
Now, I imagine with your lifestyle, you probably take supplements, right? Mm-hmm. And did you have to change your supplement routine after going vegan, or is it kind of the same?
Yeah, so of course supplements, not all are vegan. So, and people say, oh, you'd be low in B12 or something like this. I've had blood work done, and my B12 was fine. Everything was pretty fine, my iron. And I'm O positive blood type, so people say like, oh, you can't be vegan if you're if you're that, you know. I don't know. Here's the proof.
Well, that was debunked already. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. All right, good.
Yeah. Dr. Greger debunked that like 5 or 7 years ago or something.
Ah, okay. I didn't even know. Yeah. So I actually have a protein powder company, and we do pumpkin seed protein powder, and that's a real game changer. Honestly, not just because like I'm selling it, I'm trying to sell you something or whatever, but I seriously believe in it. Serious passion about it. I've been taking it 7 years, and it's that. Like power, fullness, thickness, you know. I think anybody who's out there powerlifting will feel like, oh, you know, this warrior type of strength and, you know, and power. When I drink this, it really gives me that.
Well, some women, you know, they have issues with menstruation and stuff, and some of the ladies I know find it useful to supplement, or at least make sure they get enough of those pumpkin seeds in their diet, because it's full of iron too.
Right.
Or I don't know if it's full of it, but it's got some iron in it. And,
Yeah.
And so that made me start thinking about pumpkin seeds, and then I realized how many other great benefits there are to it. So I started incorporating it into my diet, like daily, almost in my smoothies or in, you know, whatever I'm baking or whatever.
Okay.
But that's what interested me in when I was walking by your booth. I noticed your product there, and I was like, yeah, I want to check that out. So your product, let's check that out.
Okay, so I have 3 different kinds. We'll start with, so what we do is we cold press it, put it in a hydraulic press, gets the oils and fats out of it. You can literally see, we press it for 24 to 48 hours and about 100 pounds of it. The oils come out, we also bottle that, and we sell the pumpkin seed oil. It can be used like extra virgin olive oil. It's super great. And you can rub it in your hair, although, hey, I think I was a little too late, but I don't dry it in my hair. But if you do have hair, you can rub it in. It's supposed to clean your roots and, you know, help with your hair growth. So then the protein to weight ratio is more than doubled at that point. Normally, I think it's about 24 grams of protein per 100 grams of pumpkin seed. Now it's about 65 to 70 grams of protein per 100 grams of pumpkin seed. Wow. Yeah, so amazing. And then we just grind it up. So it's not like pea protein or rice protein or something like that. Heavily processed. A lot of people have bloating, stomach ache from that. This is super smooth. Your body absorbs it immediately. Just super healthy. Pumpkin seed is amazing. Like for even like women that are nursing or pregnant. It just has so many aspects. And when we get older, our bones get weaker. So it's super good for your bone strength.
So I guess this is something that you could put in your smoothies and maybe your...
You can bake with it because there's no flavoring and no sweetener. So it's pure pumpkin seed. And it tastes just like pumpkin seed. You're gonna make a smoothie, I'm sure you're gonna put maybe other stuff in it. If you like the taste of pumpkin seed, you don't have to put anything in it. You know, I put in maybe some almond butter, banana, you know, a little bit of maple syrup. You know, I leave it up to the customer because the pea protein and all that, you have to mask that terrible taste that it has by doing flavorings, you know, and then you're just fillers or whatever, depending on the quality of the product, you know. But this is just, we want it natural. I even have a customer, she puts this in her pumpkin soup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can bake with it, anything you like. So this is the pure one. This is the pumpkin seed powder plus superfoods. So with baobab, spinach, rosemary, beet, alfalfa, maca, ashwagandha. There's about 19 superfoods in here. That just adds another boost there. You know, but your main protein source is the pumpkin seed.
All right, and then you get that last one there.
And then I have the pumpkin seed powder, plus the superfoods that's in this one, and the 8-branch chain aminos. So it's complete. So this is the one I usually take because I work out a lot.
So what's your daily routine like? You get up in the morning and what's the first thing you do? Do you go straight to working out or do you try to eat first?
I have my oatmeal, so I'll do my protein powder in it. And then depending on if I have to work or not, I usually end up doing some work on my companies or ride my motorcycle. Yeah, do some martial arts training. And then I hit the gym. I also go to gym, I lift some weights. Not as heavy as I used to, but like just for keeping in shape. I like to work out in the early afternoon, like 1, 2 o'clock is really good for, you know, good time for me. And after that, basically pure eating throughout the day. I usually eat like 4 times a day.
So the oatmeal in the morning, and that's before you work out, and then what about the rest of the day? What's that usually like? Is there staples that you try to get in your diet?
Yeah, I eat a lot of red lentils, rice and red lentils. I really feel like red lentils also is not heavy on the stomach, and tons of protein. I just look at what does my body react. I just go by the feeling. I don't really like, I have to get this many calories or something like that. I always go like, okay, what do I feel like? What I taste what's something that I need today, and your body tells you. Not everybody's really in tune with that. I've been doing this a long time, so I'm pretty sensitive to all the foods that I eat, and my body will just tell me what I need, and I'll do it. But red lentils I have pretty much every day. I find the brown lentils are a little bit heavy for my stomach, some bloating, but the red lentils, I don't eat much tofu. Sometimes I do some like barbecue tofu or something like that. I eat really clean, just some seasonings. I like spicy. I usually put a little bit of chili on my food, just because live in Indonesia, it's like super, super spicy food.
What about like grains and fruits and greens?
I guess rice, fruits. I feel really good when I eat fruit, the seasonal fruit, I just go by that. And honestly, in the U.S., the fruits there's not a lot. I mean, in Indonesia, it's just unbelievable amount of fruit. Yeah, dragon fruit. Usually, it's probably better for me to talk about fruit when I lived in Indonesia. I have a dragon fruit, a big red one. Just cut it in half and just scoop it and just eat it like a bowl. One of those. Mangosteen. A fruit called sau. It almost tastes like if you would think about how velvet would taste. That's about what it tastes like. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Papaya, like in my yard there, I have papaya, I have soursop growing, so I just pick it and eat it. So I don't eat as much fruit in the U.S. Yeah, because there's just not a huge abundance of different kinds. Yeah, cauliflower, I like broccoli, mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms. I want to get into. I ate a lot of lion's mane when I was in Taiwan, and it's really abundant there. Here, I don't see it much around like in supermarkets. So there's a powder my friend takes. I'm going to start taking that, and.
So a pretty diverse diet. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I'll take like a whole bunch of different vegetables with the red lentils, rice. I'll boil it up, smash it, and make a big stew. And I literally eat that for probably 2 or 3 days, like almost every meal besides breakfast, yeah. Nice. Or like when I just want a snack, I always have food around.
Could you be with somebody who isn't vegan?
Nah, unfortunately, nah. Yeah. I've had a couple girlfriends, they became vegan after being my girlfriend, and they're still going. They pretty much, like when we were dating, it was like, well, this is the way I eat. So, and then usually they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then pretty much from then on, that's all they just ate what I ate. I mean, maybe when they were alone, they with their parents or whatever, they had to go and, have dinner with them or something. But pretty quick, they changed to be vegan or vegetarian. Yeah. I could probably handle vegetarian as long as it wasn't milk or eggs and stuff wasn't in the house,
So, you have a favorite quote you want to share?
做好心，讲好话，做好事就好玩. Have a sincere heart. Speak good things. Do good things. Help good people.
Awesome. And then do you have a website where we can check out more?
Yeah, so my website will be up. Website is www.veganpowerproducts.com. And my Instagram is veganpowerproducts. So you can contact me there if you're interested. It is truly, I think, the best in the world. Really the cleanest, yeah.
Hey, I'm curious, before you went vegan, was there ever a time you thought, there's no way I could do this?
Oh, no. Nah.
Why didn't you do it sooner?
Just didn't have that spark. Yeah. It was, I did like eating vegan food or vegetarian food when I was eating meat. I always felt like really happy, when I ate that. Just like like an inner joy, but then when I really made a conscious decision to become vegan, then I was like, oh, okay, now I know why, and it really unfolded to, what was behind that joy, and lightness, inside.
If a doctor said you had to eat meat, otherwise you were going to get sick, what would you do?
Nah.
Or if you got sick and then the doctor said you better start eating
Death first.
Death first, huh? That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Some might even say dogmatic.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my mindset is really like that on like everything I do. So, yeah, I just, because I think it's also your intention. Why are you being vegan? And, if your heart's not ready, don't do it, because it's just going to be torture. But if your heart's ready, it's not a problem. It's not a burden. Yeah, I mean, just the benefits you get out of it, the joy, all these emotional, especially like emotional problems. You eat the meat. I mean, you're eating the anxiety of the animal. You're taking on a lot of burden from it, and we're eating all the time. So you're constantly eating anxiety, fear. So you can get rid of all that. Eat vegetables. Yeah.
So is there any last minute encouraging words or anything we didn't talk about that you want to throw out there?
You can be vegan and still be unhealthy, Yeah. So definitely like taking the whole thing of what it means to be vegan. Like I was saying before, like people are vegan for different reasons. What's your intention? If you're just like on a health fad, like you, this is the new thing and it's probably not gonna last. I mean, I hope it does, but really dig deep. And see all the benefits of it, and then you'll have more staying power.
So I see different numbers are all over the place. I've seen 60%, 90%, but about 80% of diets fail.
Yeah.
So when people approach this as a diet, I mean, it's very likely they're going to fail. And it's not because of the philosophy of veganism they failed.
Right.
It's because they weren't even really vegan to begin with. And I know people hate hearing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're vegan, you're going to find a way to make it work, aren't you?
Right. My system runs so clean. I hardly ever get sick.
Now you mentioned
the
brown lentils kind of maybe a little bit might.
Oh yeah. Hey, if I ate greasy meat before, I'd probably have a stomachache.
Yeah.
So like it's normal. Like some foods not because it's vegan. It's just normal that some foods aren't gonna jive with you as much as other ones.
So you just got to figure out what works best for you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're truly vegan, you'll do that and stay there, and find the right vegan foods or plant foods.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, I appreciate your time, man. I better let you get back to the whole point of you being here. And and it would be very amiss if we didn't mention where we are and why we're here.
So we are in Broward County, in South Florida, sunny South Florida. And it's the Vegan Health Expo, and they also have a bodybuilding show, fitness bodybuilding, and it's great. It's in the Broward County Convention Center.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
And you got a booth set up that you probably should get back to.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much, sir.
Awesome. You have a good day.
Okay.